enjoy this one, man. Let's get ready. Green Bay. Let's do it. Just got one thing here. I know you guys are hungry for more, right? Itching. Let me tell you something. The city of Chicago is hungry too. Yeah. It's Chicago. Listen.
Good, better, best, guys. Welcome to the Bears Den podcast. I am your host, Andy, and we have a great show lined up for you guys tonight because all we do is win. As always, like us, please follow us, like us, subscribe to us. You can find us on TikTok, Twitch, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. Don't be shy. Send us your feedback tonight. Send us your comments. Show us some love. Now let me introduce the rest of the team. We got the Todd in the house. And we got the bad guy, Chicago Clarence. So let me get into it, guys. All we do is win. And we just keep on winning. So we were in the city of brotherly love. That city does mean something to me. As I've said, I'm from Allentown, Pennsylvania. I've been there many times. I still have friends and family who root for this team. I don't know why. So I enjoyed kicking their ass. I enjoyed every minute of it. I loved every second of it. I can finally talk some shit, get some payback. I don't have to hear about the fog bowl or the double doink, hopefully ever again, because that was an ass kicking. That wasn't even close. So, Todd, what did you think of what you saw?
I was pretty happy pushing those guys around. That was impressive. That was a signature win. I know we're still not getting any real love, but that was a big deal. You know, you beat the champs in their building on national TV. You know, primetime game. You're the only team playing, and we just shoved them around.
I mean, we did more than a shove. We were the more physical team. I mean, last time we saw the Eagles, they were just punking the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl. They made Patrick Mahomes look like an average quarterback, and we just went into. I mean, we went in to Philadelphia and beat their ass. We made them leave early, and you heard Chicago Bears fans chanting for the Bears, not the Eagles. So, Chicago Clarence, what did you think of what you saw on Black Friday?
I was very surprised, pleasantly surprised at that. Yeah, this was a game that I picked us to lose. It's the defending champions. I mean, you know, the Philadelphia Eagles, Kansas City Chiefs, Baltimore Ravens. Those teams are on a different level than we were accustomed to. And particularly these past, few years with Bears being Bears. We've watched a lot of bad football. The Chicago Bears go to Philadelphia and manhandle them on both sides of the ball. I mean, you can slice it any way you want to. The Philadelphia Eagles were manhandled on both sides of the ball, particularly their defensive line going against our offensive line. They were pushed around. They were bullied. We took their lunch money. Mm-hmm. So to see that in their building was quite surprising.
I mean, I was stunned. I was blown away because the game was not that close. I didn't think. If it wouldn't have been for the interception that they got on us, and then the drive, Todd, did you even think the game was that close? Was it ever in doubt for you?
You know, the numbers, we never got a substantial lead in the first half anyway. Just kept hanging around. But yeah, we dominated the game. We should have been up by more than we were. So no, it felt like we were in control, but it would have been nice to have a little bigger lead in the first half. But yeah, it felt like what the last time we had two guys hit 100 yards was Peyton and Suey, right? I mean
Yes.
that's hard to believe, but no, we controlled it. I felt like we were going to win. At halftime, I was like, we're in a position to win. We didn't have a big enough lead for me, but I thought, we can win this game. And then in the second half, they just came out and put it all together. So it'd have been nice to score a few more points in the first half, but I'm not going to complain about that win at all.
I mean, the only thing I would bitch about is there were 3 drives there in the third quarter where we I don't know why we did not run the ball. Like Clarence said, we tried to get cute and throw the ball, and I don't know why we abandoned the run on those 3 series. That's really the only thing I would complain about. But other than that, we just killed them. We destroyed the Philadelphia Eagles in their house. I mean, I was stunned that we did that.
No, I look at this team big picture. Sorry to cut you off. I look at big picture, everything big picture. I want to get to that top echelon in the NFL. I know right now, if the season ended today, we're the number 1 seed in the playoffs. I get that, and I am not discounting that at all because none of us foresaw this. But we're looking at this football team, and there's still people who don't believe. There's still prognosticators who don't think that when the season ends that we're going to end up in the playoffs. They certainly don't think that we're going to win this division. And I want to prove them wrong, but I am a realist. And if we want to hold on to this seed, if we want to go far in the playoffs, we got to play better and more consistent on offense. We have got to be able to ball in the end zone. We have got to be able to sustain drive. Why? Because our quarterback has not taken that next step and been a pocket pass forward. He still misses way too many layups for my taste. He's throwing the ball behind people. He's throwing the ball over people's heads. Every other category that we were complaining about weeks ago, guys, think about it. What were we complaining about? One of the most things we were complaining about was penalties. Well,
yeah,
that's went down a whole lot. Our pre-snap penalties are non-existent at the moment. Right. We are not shooting ourselves in the foot as much as we were before. But we have got to continue to take that next step. And that all lies at the feet of Caleb Williams. I think Ben Johnson has some growing to do as far as play caller. As I said during the game, he tends to get a little too cute from time to time. We're sitting up there averaging, 7 yards a carry, run the shit down their throat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Run it down, continue to run it to stop it.
Yeah, well, and I think the weather was a factor too. The one they said was pretty strong and swirling in different directions, and I mean that affects both teams. But that definitely had an influence on the. But I mean, when you're running the ball that effectively, then just then that's I mean, it needs to be a 2-to-1 ratio at least.
I mean, I remember when people thought, and I'm one of them, that we made huge mistakes in the offseason not adding to the running back room. Mm-hmm. We didn't think Monangai was going to be enough, along with Swift, but these 2 guys and the money we spent on the offensive line, you can see it's paying dividends now. And Roshore and Bieniemy, man, hats off to those 2. Those 2, I would argue, are the second and third best hirings after Ben Johnson by far. By far. I mean, those 2 need to get credit where credit is due. I mean, Roshore and Bieniemy are just top notch. And then I
throw Dennis Allen in there too. Yeah, what he's had to with the injuries on defense, he's done a hell of a job.
Yeah, I mean, our going into the season, our last cornerback to make the roster, our 5th or 6th, was Defensive Player of the Month. I mean, how does that happen when your cornerback 6 on your team is it's just dominating? I mean, I'm gonna give a lot of credit to Dennis Allen for that.
I mean, that's another one. Nashawn Wright.
Yeah, he's been working with scraps for half the season.
Sorry, I didn't mention his name. Yeah, Nashawn Wright.
Nashawn Wright. I mean, he just won Defensive Player of the Month today. Yeah. I mean, how good has this guy been?
Yeah.
And he had a good camp. Every indication in camp was he had a great camp. I mean, I don't know where you go at cornerback if JJ is healthy, Gordon's healthy, Stevenson's healthy, CJ Gardner-Johnson is healthy, Wright's now healthy. I don't know where you go. That's 5 pretty good cornerbacks.
You're playing
Stevenson is healthy.
Playing a dime and a single linebacker.
I mean, I don't know where you go.
TJ Edwards and a dime with CJ GJ playing the hybrid linebacker safety role, I guess. I mean, that's what I would do. But
I mean, Nahshon Wright is unfortunately he's probably going to get paid, and we're probably not going to be able to keep him. But that's an off-season podcast. We ain't going to worry about that right now.
No.
I mean, he's really on the cheap 1-year deal. He's really cheap.
Yeah.
And I feel like, he's helping us overcompensate for not getting to the quarterback. I feel like that's kind of our trade-off. We can't get to the cornerback, but we're winning the turnover battle on defense. Does anybody else feel that way, Todd?
Yeah, no, that's if you can't get there, then the secondary hasn't been healthy, and it's been amazing that he's been as good as he's been. But yeah, if you can't get pressure, then you have to get pressure from the secondary, and I think now they're in a position to do that with most everybody back. I don't know if Stevenson's available, but everybody else I think should be in a full-time role now. I think.
Stevenson did not participate Wednesday and Thursday.
Yeah, they may give him another week, but we have the spot to do it. So,
and we have the luxury with all these cornerbacks now to do it. I mean, as of this morning or today, Hippolyte is still with DNP, Adunze, Stevenson, and Thuney, but Thuney says flat out rest, veteran rest.
He's going to play. The Rome one's a little concerning, but
I mean, I'm okay with giving more snaps to Burton.
Me too, but
I'm more concerned with Manungai being limited still.
Yeah, I expect him to play. But,
Clarence, anything else you want to add to the Eagles Bears?
No, I mean, I just felt like that. It's pretty cut and dry. People wasn't believing in the Bears. We're talking about some of those wins who we came up against, and the fact that we had to go deep into the weeds to pull some of those wins out, and they wanted to see particularly what was going to happen with the Bears when it was an uptick in competition. We beat Pittsburgh, which a lot of people thought we would lose that game, and nobody said the Bears were going to go to Philadelphia and win. Nobody. And not only did they win, but they dominated them. So, it's what else can you say about it? Let's keep it going, though. It's not the end of the season. Let's keep it going.
No, for sure. I mean, Caleb Williams' accuracy issues. I feel like that's the only negative really for this entire season. Like he just can't get the throws. Like
his escapability is really offset a lot of that.
I know. But if he could make some of these throws he keeps missing, he would just some of these games probably would not be this close, honestly. We would probably run them out the building.
Have you guys heard any national pundits talk about Caleb Williams right now? Have you been hearing some of the things that they're saying?
Besides his accuracy issues, and his nail polish is never going to stop, so whatever. But, I mean, the accuracy, that's fair. We all see his accuracy issues. I think that's fair.
Well, no, a lot of them think we finally have a lot of them thinks we have a franchise quarterback. And, I'm not going to argue with them on that, but the reason why I bring it up is because people like Colin Cowherd and Dan Orlovsky, I'm going to throw Cam Newton name in there because he didn't believe in the Bears. All the people on Get Up, now everybody suddenly believes that Williams is the franchise quarterback for the Chicago Bears. But I had some digging. If you look at Caleb Williams' numbers right now compared to Justin Fields, they're actually identical when Justin Fields was in Chicago. So the narrative from the national media is always skewed on what have you done for me lately. And it's just basically that.
Yeah.
It pains me when people talk about the Bears, and a lot of it is warranted. We've been a bad franchise, not only a bad franchise, a bad organization for a very long time. People are not used to seeing happen in Chicago what's happening right now, so people are skeptic to believe. We, on the other hand, have watched every snap for this football team in the last, at least the last 15 years. I know I have
Yeah.
every snap.
We have.
So this is we are winning football games. Yes, we are winning football games, and we're pulling very out of the feet a lot of times, but we're doing it for the first time see on the sideline. And it was really the only difference between us and last year when we had overall a better defense, and we certainly had a good defense under Nagy. But we finally got somebody on the sidelines that pays attention to what the hell is going on. And Ben Johnson calls plays. Matt Nagy called plays, but he never paid attention to what was actually happening. And was horrible at throwing the challenge flag. So is Eberflus. All that shit matters when you are the head coach. The staff that you put together matters, because it's somebody's job to sit up there and tell you when you should throw a challenge flag and when you shouldn't. And Nagy and Eberflus sucked at it. Nagy was too busy paying attention to the next horrible ass play he was going to call. That was not going to work. So that's the reason why I tend to give Ben Johnson so much credit, because he's doing all of this shit and it's working. It is work. The culture in that city has changed. Do you see the locker room? Where everybody saw it when this video came on. Everybody jumping up and down, being excited. Hell, we had Club Dub, after every win when Nagy was there. But look, the football team is engaged in what this man does and how he addresses them, how he holds them accountable. Because there are people who are sitting their asses on the bench right now who were starting at the beginning of the season. They've talked about how hard he has been on Caleb Williams. And you see the results of it. Finally, I believe we got a football coach who we can, circle the wagons around and believe in for changing the narrative about the Chicago Bears. We still got work to do, though, but I like the way we're going.
The reason I chose that video for our entrance video instead of our normal one is that shows me that they would probably take a bullet for this guy. They're balled in. Like, they love their coach. Yeah, I can't say that for Nagy. I damn sure can't say that for Eberflus. No. I think they like Nagy a little bit because of Club Dub. I think they could have gotten behind Nagy if it would have went differently. But they love this coach. They want to play for this coach. They want to win. They want to succeed. They're balled in. I mean, this team is balled in. And that's what makes them dangerous. When a team believes in their coach and they believe they can win, they can believe they can get it done. And then we got a running game. A running game always travels. A passing game don't travel if the weather's bad, but a running game will always travel and will travel well. If we just had a pass rush to go with this defense.
You're right.
Go ahead.
I've always said it in the NFL, and I've never been a coach, so you choose to believe me if you want to. But if you can do two things, if you can run the ball and you can stop the run, you can win football games, whether it's high school, college, or the pros. If you are able to run the football, which means the other team's offense is sitting on the sidelines, waiting to get in the game, you're taking time off the clock. And if you get the lead, which if you don't believe me, look at what happened to the Carolina Panthers and the Los Angeles Rams last Sunday, and look at what we did to the Philadelphia Eagles. How long was Jalen Hurts and Matthew Stafford sitting on the bench because they were getting the ball ran on them, and you wasn't able to stop it? And that is particularly demoralizing late in the game when you need to get the ball back. And every time they snap the ball, they're 6 or 7 yards later, and it's first down after second down because you're running the ball down their throat. Nothing hurts a defense worse than having the ball ran on them the way that the Rams and the Eagles ran the ball on them. And then if you turn around and we're going against Saquon Barkley, and I know the Eagles were having issues of running the ball before they came up against the Bears, but the Eagles is a different football team when they're at Lincoln Financial Field as well, and they don't get dominated like that. They the ones who do the dominating. But we held Saquon Barkley down. If you look at some of the running backs we've went up against, our run defense has gotten significantly better as the season has worn on, and we're playing with a bunch of scraps and Walmart door greeters on defense at linebacker.
I mean,
So that tells me Dennis Allen has his defense bought in. They're
no,
being well coached. People
I
are
mean,
staying in their gaps.
yeah. I mean, I love Dennis Allen. I mean, I think you can start the argument for who is the most important coach after Ben Johnson.
Right.
Rochar, I mean, you can argue for anybody. Bieniemy, Barrett. I mean, you can Al Harris,
Al Harris.
Dennis Allen. I mean, you can start the argument for anybody. Really,
Yeah. I
I
mean,
don't know if there's a wrong answer, honestly.
I think that I'm gonna, with Johnson being in a winning organization and a team that changed the culture, identifying assistants is really important. Something that we never in the past cared much of anything about. I mean, I know we brought in Vic, and there were moves that we made that were big, but when Vic left, we promoted. I don't even remember the guy's name. One year we made him the DC, and he,
And
yeah,
was trash.
yeah, and I know that we've kind of tried to buy the big offensive, like Martz and those guys and all, in the past, that
Mike Martz.
we've done some stuff like that, but this is every slot, every coach, just
It's elite.
he's tuned into who's great at that, and we'll lose some guys, but I feel like we can replace them. So, but
I don't know.
I think that I mean, I don't think we're going to lose the young guys. Maybe, I mean, that you hear about the OC, and I don't, I'm sure he's involved, but you hear the least about him than any of the coaches, honestly.
Declan Doyle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's an OC by title, but we all know Ben Johnson is the man.
Yeah.
We all know that.
It does seem like that we might get that third round pick for our assistant general manager this year, since it's gonna take the credit for this one. So we might actually get to move on from Cunningham and get something for him.
I don't know. I mean, everything's going so well. I really don't want to lose anybody.
Yeah, no, I understand.
But I mean, let me ask you guys something. Last time we had a season like this was 2018.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think we're going to sustain this, or is this going to be another pop-up season and it's going to crash and burn?
No, I think because of the staff we put together that this is sustainable.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're building something special here, and we have a young team, a young roster. I think it's for real, guys. Anybody else think so? Clarence, what do you think of this team?
I mean, the way this team feels different than when Nagy was here, all the way around, and I think that Pace had put together a better roster than we actually have right now outside of the offensive line. But we had a fantastic defense. But as we have said many times, when you want to win in football, it starts up front. You have got to be able to have a sustainable offensive line where you can run the ball and protect your quarterback. And we have finally got the memo that everybody else have been passing around in the league for hundreds of years. You have got to have an offensive line to protect your franchise quarterback. And oh, by the way, why I'm mentioning franchise quarterback, we finally have one. And you're giving him the tools, and don't think because I'm saying this that I still don't have, feelings for Justin Fields, because I do. I don't believe he was put in the right situation to where he succeed, and where he's playing right now is even more evident than it ever has been. You got to have a quarterback, and he's got to be put in the right situation to be able to succeed. And Justin Fields has not ever gotten that his whole career. Caleb Williams, we saw what happened to him when people were doubting should he had even been the number 1 overall pick. Why? Because he wasn't put in a great situation. He had 3 offensive coordinators, and this is his second year. And people were telling him that quarterbacks go to Chicago to die. Why? Because we do not take good care of the position. We never support it the way we should. So, no, when you do things different, different things start to happen for you, whether it's good or bad. And we finally married the quarterback with the head coach. And you see what happens when you go out there. And like I said before, this cannot be understated. We have competency standing on the sidelines. Who knows what good football looks like? Who gonna hold people accountable when they're not doing their jobs? Ben Johnson don't tolerate that stuff, and it started in training camp, guys.
Yes.
When he was making people sit their asses down for the pre-snap penalties that reared its head in the season, for being out of position, for taking too long in the huddle. I mean, there are 2 times that he told Caleb Williams in the starting offense to sit down because they were taking too long in the huddle. So it starts there. It starts in practice. If you want the game to go well, it's got to start well in practice. We're seeing that.
It started against Miami Dolphins when they were crying that we were too physical. That's really where it started.
Right.
We were hitting too hard in scrimmages.
Yeah.
We were too aggressive.
Yeah, and look at the Dolphins right now. I mean, come on.
Now it's paying off. And when was the last time you saw a Bears team that physical on the offensive line?
Never.
They just
the 85.
And now I can say Darnell Wright was probably the better draft pick than Jalen Carter. He manhandled him.
I'm not going to say that.
He put him on the ground numerous
times.
I mean,
he's having a heck of a season. I get that, but hey, at the end of the day, guys, this is the thing. When you making draft picks, you got to start hitting on that stuff.
Oh yeah, I agree 100%.
And we have been hard on Pose for some of his picks. We were hard on Pace. I mean, his first ever draft pick, didn't work. We hardly saw the guy.
Kevin White,
Kevin White was supposed to be this next generation talent at wide receiver from the University of West Virginia, and the dude couldn't stay on the field. When he got in there, he looked lost. That stuff comes back to haunt you when you take draft capital and when you take 5 damn picks to move up one fucking spot to draft a guy who was going to be there regardless. That shit comes back to haunt you. The Trubisky trade, for God's sake.
I know what you're talking about.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Let's keep his blood pressure down. So let me ask you guys something. Todd?
Yes, sir.
The trade deadline is come and gone.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in hindsight, should we have made a big move at the trade deadline for an edge rusher? That's really what we're missing for a complete team.
I was against it at the time, but I think that Jalen Phillips trade to Philly looks good, and we probably should have got in on that. I know we can restructure some stuff, and we can be in the market. There's not, nothing's going to happen this year. Obviously, I mean, we can get in. We can get it. I know we don't have any cap now, but you can maneuver things, and we could get in the hunt for Hendrickson if we wanted to do that. Especially because you're not going to give up any draft capital. It's just money. You just have to. But I think, now we're picking up the tail end of I think when we were figuring, I think they did a third. The Eagles did a third, and that was going to be a late third. And I think we were figuring to be like a mid third, and we didn't want to do that for Phillips. We probably should have, in hindsight, obviously. But I think that he would have probably helped. I mean, he's not amazing, but he would have helped.
Clarence, should we have made a move at a trade deadline now? Now seeing what we are as a team and seeing that we cannot get to the quarterback to save our lives.
Well, I said at the trade deadline that we should have made a move.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm not going to say, I'm not going to go the other way now. But the thing that I will say is Pose is on the record as saying that he called.
Yeah, he is.
And the thing that we wasn't privy to is what was the asking prices on some of these people. There was talk about trading DJ Moore for Thibodeau out of New York.
I'm still interested in that trade.
Yeah, I was definitely on that trade. Mm-hmm. There were talks about, he called Cleveland about Myles Garrett. Cincinnati was adamant that they wanted, they wanted, big compensation for, old dude. And I don't want to. We got to remember that we don't want to set our franchise back.
No,
overspending.
No.
We typically do that. So
yeah,
I think that right.
He would have cost
But
considerably more than Parsons. So, I mean, you're talking about 3-1s for and,
yeah,
he's the best edge rusher in the game. So, I mean, at this point, you might look.
I
At
would have
that.
given 3-1s for Myles Garrett,
Yeah,
but that would have
so
been the only guy.
right, yeah.
That would have been the only guy. But the thing about it that I think about with this team is, um, we're a year early, guys.
Yeah,
We're a
we are.
year ahead of schedule.
Yeah.
So even if we didn't do anything, which we didn't, we now have our draft capital in this upcoming draft. We're going to have money to spend, and this is supposed to be part of the plan. And if we ended up making the playoffs, I think that the Chicago Bear fan base should be happy with where we are now, where we are as far as on the football field, where we are as far as the salary cap, and where we ought to be able to go out there and acquire more talent with all our assets.
We don't have any money right now, but we're in a position where now you make the move where you extend a little bit and you add void.
Yeah,
years,
you can do it. You can clear
you
stuff off the
maneuver
books.
stuff to do
Absolutely.
it. This gets you in. We've been clean financially because we've been terrible. So now you say, well, we're going to gamble a little bit with some. I mean, we're not going to go the route of the New Orleans Saints where they go crazy, but we're gonna. I think that if Henderson gets to free agency, we could make that move, and he's still probably in. There's only a handful of guys that are elite. I mean,
He'd be 32 years old though.
Yeah, no, I know, and you're talking about a 2-3 year deal, not a whole lot there. But I think that where we're at in the draft now, on defensive line, we're probably looking at run stuffers more than we are at penetrators. But there's a long time before, and that's it. But if you're picking in the bottom 4 or 5 picks in the first round, it gets a little thin. You got to find the diamond in the rough, and you can do that later. You don't have to do that with the first pick because.
But this is the thing where I push back on that. Kansas City does this every year, and they're used to picking at the bottom, and they acquire talent. This is where your scouting department has got to be on their game.
Yeah, no, well, that's the thing, right? Like, I mean, they take Chris Jones in the second round, and they take their center in the second round, Creed Humphreys, who is probably the best in the game. So, you win by picking that diamond in the rough.
Mm-hmm.
It just doesn't fall to you. It isn't like it's, last year Abdul Carter is going to be the guy, or this year if it's Bain or if it's the kid out of Ohio State, the Arvell Reese guy. Those are the ones that are the easy, obvious ones. But you miss on those too. So I mean,
yeah, and I bet the Giants wish they had that pick back.
Yeah,
I was going to say that.
I mean,
he's been benched 2 games in a row now.
Guys that can't
whatever.
miss, like guys like Chase Young, who missed forever and was hurt forever. Now he's playing pretty good ball, but not like no.
I mean, Abdul Carter is.
Yeah, it's half a sack. He has a half sack.
And he's just, I don't know why he was punished 2 games in a row. He had to sit on the bench in the first quarter.
Showed up
late for meetings.
Yeah.
For meetings. I mean, that's just fundamental stuff. I mean, we, Todd, I think you're retired, but me and Andy, we work jobs. When you're supposed to be someplace at a certain time, you're supposed to be there.
I'm not retired. I don't have a boss per se, but I do some stuff.
I mean, I wish I didn't have to be there.
Yeah.
So, guys, let's get into it.
Mm-hmm.
In case you live under a rock, to me, this is a must-win game.
Yeah.
Somehow, it always comes down to us and the Green Bay Packers. Somehow, some way, by hook or crook, it's always us and Green Bay. And in case you live under a rock, the game's been flexed to 4:25 Eastern, 3:25 Central.
Mm-hmm.
And the next game's already been flexed to Saturday night, 8:15 p.m. I'm not too happy about that, but Chicago Clarence, take it away. Why do we got to win this game?
Well, you said you labeled it as a must-win game. I don't know if I agree with that. We got 5 games left. The thing about it is, if we lose this game, then Green Bay takes over as the number 1 seed. Well, no, I'm not sure, because what is their record in conference versus the Rams?
I don't know.
They would depend on that. But they would take over the division lead, but we played them again.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that if we want to sell it to the city and the Chicago Bears wants to sell it to their fans, that they have finally arrived. This will be a game that they go in and win.
Yeah.
I think that Chicago, I mean, once again, I'm going to talk about the national pundits. They consider Green Bay as a top echelon team. I don't
They do.
understand why.
They
Maybe
do.
it's because they go to the playoffs every year, but they do nothing once they get there. I don't know why they're considered to be a top echelon football team and the favorite to win this division, even though as it stands right now, we are number one in the division. But when you look at this football team, and I'm talking about the Green Bay Packers, their defense has come a long way, the way ours have. People are talking about Michael Parsons elevating this team, and that would be great if it was going to be considered to be pass protection, but we run the ball better than anybody else in the league. We're going to run the ball at Michael Parsons. And that's how you
Yes.
neutralize pass rush.
Yep.
And that has never been his strong suit. His run defense has always been below par. We're going to run the ball at him all day. That's what I would expect to do. We're going to run that ball behind Trapillo and Joe Tooney, and it's going to be a long day for him. It's what I suspect. Caleb Williams takes care of the football. I think that we can win this football game. I think that if you're a betting man, you take Chicago Bears and them 7 points, and you run to the bank.
And I'm glad you brought it up. ESPN has the Packers by 7-point favorites, 69% chance to win this game. The over-under on points is 46.5.
Kind of funny that this was the same thing that they had for Chicago when they went to go play Philly.
Yeah, it was. Exactly the same amount. Todd?
Yes, sir.
Big game Sunday.
I agree that it's a must win.
Yeah,
I think it's a must win for Green Bay. We play them again in 2 weeks in our building. If we drop this game and we split with them, it doesn't change our position much. I think the pressure's on them. I really do. I mean, we beat them in January to end the season last year, and in their building, and they can act like, oh, that we're nothing, but they need to be worried about us. And I think they are. I think their fan base is, and they just don't want to admit it. But
no, they would never admit it.
Yeah, but I think it's a must win for them. I think they drop that game, and then they turn around and lose in Chicago. We win the division for sure if that's the case. But
we're 1-2 in the division, aren't we? We only have one division win, and that was against Minnesota.
Yeah, we're 1-1. No, 1-2. We lost to Detroit, lost to Minnesota, beat Minnesota. We got to play Detroit once more and Green Bay twice.
Yeah, Detroit maybe
they're on life support.
Yeah, I mean that's surprising, but they absolutely are.
I mean, they have to win tonight, and they're probably eliminated.
We talk about this coaching stuff, but this interior offensive line change has been everything. I mean, it really has. We have had terrible interior play, the centers and guards for since the last 5 or 6 years of just terrible football. Those guys have been awful, and that's made all the difference.
I mean, when you look at Green Bay's defense, they're pretty good. 4th in total, 6th in passing, 7th in rush, 6th in total points.
They lost their nose tackle the other day, didn't they?
No.
Yeah, they lost somebody.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
The second best defensive player on the team, they lost.
Roshan Gary, we talking about?
No. Interior.
Devontae Wright, I thought was their best nose tackle.
Yeah. Let me see here. Hang on.
But anyway, I mean, I agree with you, Clarence. And I would run. I would run right at Micah Parsons. I mean, Sunday, the weather now, they're calling for a chance of snow. I'm looking at the weather report now, and the high is only 21 degrees.
Yeah. That's what you do.
It's going to be a day to run the ball.
That's what you do, and it just goes back to what I've always said. The team that runs the ball the best and able to stop the run is usually the team that wins. I mean, I know that the NFL want to sling the ball all over the field because it looks nice and it's fancy, but at the end of the day, when you want to drain the clock or you want to neutralize a high-powered offense, well, how do you do that? You run the damn ball.
Mm-hmm.
but it has got to end up with 6 and not 3.
Oh, I agree with that 100%.
Right.
And offensively, Green Bay, I mean, they're 14th in total, 13th in passing, 16th in rushing, 10th in points, and they are the best third down offense in the NFL at 49%. So they pretty much pick up their third downs half the time.
Let me ask you. Who on offense, other than the running back, but at the wide receiver position, who scares you? Who do you have to double team? Nobody.
Man, I think they mostly have like 2s and 3s at wide receiver.
Yeah.
I like Dobbs. I like Watson. Golden may be good one day. They lost Kraft. Wicks is okay.
Wicks is okay. And you know,
Musgrave is okay.
And we have never guarded the tight end well, and they lost their tight end. But you know, for the first time in a very long time, guys, we're entering an era that we don't have to worry about showing up against another team and worried about getting out coached. Every time we played Green Bay, we have always been out coached until Ben Johnson got here. Right. We don't have to worry. That shit's not happening now. He's not going to be out schemed. Dennis Allen has seen everything before that Green Bay is going to throw at us. He ain't going to be surprised at anything that Matt LaFleur draws up. You know, and I've watched Green Bay a number of times, and Jordan Love, he is susceptible to making those mistakes. And who's the best team in the NFL at taking the ball away?
We are.
The Chicago Bears. So why should we be nervous about playing the Green Bay Packers? I'm not.
Right.
I'm surprised. I can tell you right now, I would be surprised if we don't go up there and whoop their ass.
They've been our kryptonite for 20 years. That's why I'm nervous.
What was the common denominator though? Andy, think about it.
They had
coaching. They had the better coaching.
And a better quarterback.
But even when we had the better roster, when we first brought Khalil Mack here, it was debatable that we had the better roster, but we still didn't have the best head coach. And what happened? We lose the football game. Right. We are in different waters now.
Yeah, I mean,
we are in different waters.
Yeah, LaFleur's a great coach. I mean, there's some rumors of potentially firing him. I mean, please. Why? I don't know that because they're spoiled. Devontae Wyatt is the interior defender that he's out for the season now. He's their best pass rusher from the inside. He's a little bit of a deep run liability, so it may, you know, it's probably not a big deal, but yeah, they lost him for the season. He's a starter. So
I see these teams wanting to get rid of their head coach, particularly the Green Bay Packers, you know, as Todd said, you know, being spoiled, you know, those guys don't know how it feels to suck every freaking year.
Yeah,
to lose double-digit games every year. I mean, it's been a decade since we won a playoff game. And you sitting here wanting to fire a guy that brought you out of obscurity, and you want to get rid of him. Pittsburgh is calling for Mike Tomlin's head. Are we serious?
Yeah, I know. I mean, since the Falcons gave up on Favre, they've had it really easy up there, you know. And you know, they're just a little. They're more than a little spoiled. So, I really believe that there's more pressure on them to win than us this week.
It's a little bit because we only got one division win, and that's just where I stop at that. I believe that that was just, you know, being the first game. I think that the mistakes that were made in that Minnesota game has been corrected. And like I said, for the first time in maybe ever, I don't look at Green Bay and not worried about, unless when we go up there and lay an egg, then I will have to start raising some questions. But looking at our coaching staff, I would match our coaching staff up against them.
Yeah, for sure. As a staff, as a whole, for sure. But I just when they were a couple weeks ago and they were, you know, hemming and hawing about LaFleur and maybe making a change, I'm like, you guys are just stupid. But you know,
I wouldn't. There's no reason to get rid of LaFleur.
Mm-hmm. And they've got some injuries on that offensive line too. So
yeah, and Tomlin in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
They're finding out what we already knew. It's hard to find a quarterback. I mean, they haven't had anybody since Roethlisberger retired, so they're finding it out. So let me ask you, Todd.
Yes, sir.
Coach of the year, it's pretty much two candidates in my mind. Who would you give it to, Vrabel or Johnson? Because we're both like going down the same path. First year coaches. Well, Vrabel's not a first year coach, but first year with the team. Second year quarterbacks in new systems.
Yeah, it would be hard.
Unexpected.
Yeah, I mean, the Vrabel thing is really unexpected. But Ben Johnson certainly deserves it also. But I mean, if you're taking it down to one guy, I mean, if they do the NFC AFC thing, right? So they can both win.
Clarence, who would you give the trophy to for Coach of the Year?
I'm gonna tell you my answer, but it's gonna be for two reasons. Number one, the first reason is we played New England last year and they beat us by 2 touchdowns.
They did.
And the second reason is if the Chicago Bears win their division, you got to give it to Ben Johnson, because when you take the NFC North and match it up against the AFC East, the AFC East with New England, Buffalo, and Buffalo's really the only competition, but you got a terrible Jets team and a bad Miami football team. But if we win this division, when they said that 3 teams out of the NFC North could go to the playoffs, and they still may get 2, and Detroit's not out of it, but if we ended up winning that in what a lot of people consider to be the best division in football, you got to give it to Ben Johnson, considering what we were before, because we ain't never been a contender before. So where we come from last year, where we won 5 games last year?
Yeah.
So if we turn it around with Ben Johnson being a rookie head coach, because this is his first time being a head coach, and we win this division, you got to give it him. Vrabel's been a head coach before.
Yeah, and he's won Coach of the Year before. Pretty sure.
So Todd, right now, before this game takes place Sunday, we talked about this last week. Are we officially contenders or pretenders now? And you called us tenders like halfway. You coined the term tenders. Like chicken tenders.
Look, man. People can say what they want to about Philly and them not being, on their game or whatever. That's a huge win. I mean, we were happy with any road win at the beginning of the season. Now you're beating the champs on the road. I mean, come on. I mean, that's we're contenders. If we don't make the playoffs now,
it would be an epic failure now.
Yeah.
We have to collapse like we did last year during the 10, 11 game losing streak. It would be an epic collapse.
Right.
So, bad guy, are we contenders or pretenders now?
Well, it's like Todd said, nobody goes to Philly and dominate them like that. And I know Philly is going through some bad times, but let's remember, we lost to Todd Huntley and beat up Baltimore Ravens football team. So, this team has grown and seems to have learned from its mistakes. So you got to give him credit. Now, do I consider us top notch like some of the favorites? I think that winning this Green Bay game will go a long way to cementing a lot of people's minds and our position as to what we are.
Right.
You go to Green Bay and beat Green Bay, no one would be able to deny it then. There won't be no more excuses.
Oh, there will be. See, no matter what we do, who we
there's
play,
just no way it can be. You've beaten, because Pittsburgh was a division leader when we beat them. They were a division leader. The Philadelphia Eagles was a division leader, and they were the number 2 seed when we beat them. If we turn around and beat Green Bay, there is no way that anybody can make an excuse and say, well, the Chicago Bears won because of this, that, and the other, because you just don't do that. And 2 of those people were beaten in their buildings.
Yeah, look, I mean, we win tomorrow. We win Sunday. We probably sweep them. Are they gonna come into Chicago at night on prime time and beat us? I mean,
Chicago don't play well. Once again, I gotta say it. It's different times now, because previously we have never played well when we play in the prime time position. We just changed that on Black Friday.
We did.
Well, I mean, it's a different world.
I mean, there is the playoff picture. If the playoffs started today, we are number 1. And it'd be Seattle, Tampa Bay, Green Bay, Philly, San Francisco, the Rams.
Let me ask you guys a question, Andy, since you've been asking all the damn questions. Let me ask y'all one.
Go
Out of
ahead.
the NFC playoff picture right now, particularly the way it looks right now, what team scares you the most if you're a Chicago Bear fan, and why?
Right now, if it stays exactly how it is and everything has to run through Chicago, nobody. I just lean on our running game. Like taking the Rams out of a dome would be huge. That would be huge for us. Taking Tampa Bay out of the warm weather, San Francisco out of the warm weather, putting them in shitty conditions, cold weather. I mean, Green Bay and Philadelphia,
Mm-hmm.
they're in the cold anyway. I mean, I still think the Rams are going to get it together, despite losing to the Panthers. Sean McVay's just too good, and Stafford's done it. He's battle tested. He's won a Super Bowl. I still think the Rams would probably be the team to beat in the NFC. Todd, who do you think?
Yeah, no, I definitely think it's the Rams.
But getting them out of the dome would be huge for us or anybody.
Yeah, the cold weather could be a factor with them, but I just and Stafford was in a dome when he was in Detroit, so
yeah,
but to me, they've got a solid defense. I was pretty surprised last week, put it that way.
I was shocked too that the Panthers won.
Yeah.
But they came down south. The weather was not great. It was raining off and on Sunday. You take them out of a dome, they become mortal then. So, Chicago Clarence, who scares you on that list the most? Since you asked the question.
To be honest with you, if the game is in Soldier Field, the team that worries me the most is a team that can play in cold weather, who has the talent to beat us. And it may shock you guys considering what we just did to them, but Philadelphia worries me the most.
If they can get their offensive line back to half of what it was, that's their problem right now. And if they can get that back,
they don't have a defensive line from what we saw.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, every team watches film. They're gonna know if we run on Philly, we can win.
They're not playing well right now, Andy.
Yeah.
Can we say that right now? I mean, they're just going through a little bad low. That's not the Philly team that people have come to know. That's not the defending champions right now. And out of all those teams, even the Rams included, now if we had to go to LA and play the Rams in their building, that would worry me. But Philly, out of all those teams, the team that's most likely to come to Soldier Field in an NFC Championship game and beat the Bears, that would be Philly.
Yeah. Or Green Bay.
See, Green Bay would have to play Philly, but I don't see San Francisco coming out there when it's snow and it's negative 10 degrees. I don't see Tampa Bay doing it. I don't see Seattle doing it with the way Sam Darnold is playing at quarterback, being able to do it. I don't see the Rams. The Rams' run game and their run defense is not good enough to win in cold weather football, in my opinion. And I've got several people on my fantasy football team that plays for the Rams. They're not built for it. But Philly with Saquon Barkley and Jalen Hurts getting his shit together, I think would be the more likely football team to come to Chicago in bad weather and win that foot. And I can tell you right now, they probably would be favored.
Yeah. I mean, Saquon Barkley looks nothing like he did last year, but the offensive line doesn't either.
It ain't nothing physical though. They are looking the way they are because number one, their offensive coordinator is a head coach. So the concepts and all that shit has changed. They don't do nothing pre-snap. They don't do anything with their wide receivers. They don't move them around on the line, and their offense is predictable. People know what's coming. But you get in the lab and you get that shit fixed, and you start trying to disguise and hide, what you're going to do on offense, and you're able to stay in your gaps and the way they weren't able to when they played Chicago. I mean, a lot of those big runs were because people just didn't stay in their gap. They got, a lot of times it wasn't because they were out leveraged, it's simply because their gap integrity was horrible. You get that shit fixed, it's a different football team.
And Lane Johnson injury is a big deal.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
But that's pass protection, though, Andy. We didn't get Jalen Hurts on the ground.
No, we didn't. That's why I wish I wish we probably would have done more at defensive end during the off season.
I think that's going to come. That's going to come back to harm us, guys. I really do.
It is.
You know, when we play these good football teams, when we can't get off the field on third down, we're going to rue the day that we didn't get another pass rusher in there. Yeah, because then when you start having to blitz to get pressure on the quarterback, now you leave yourself one-on-one coverage. We just seen what happened. Philadelphia, for all intents and purposes, had a bad day at the office, but A.J. Brown still ate, and that was with Jalen Johnson in there. You know, and our best corners, and he still had a double-digit catches and 3-digit yards. So you get him one-on-one and Devontae Smith one-on-one. I don't want none of that Kool-Aid.
Yeah, well, I mean, A.J. Brown is probably a Hall of Famer, so you know he's
a freak for an athlete.
That's my point. So I do not want to have to deal with that on one-on-one coverage because we can't get pressure with just our front four, and we're forced to blitz.
Yeah, well, same thing with Puka and Devontae Adams.
You definitely don't want to have to deal with their asses. Mm-hmm. Now, in cold weather, I take my chances because the Rams, I don't care what the pundits say, is not a physical football team. These pundits can sit there and try to fool you all they want to. It's easier for them to sit there and say, they're physical on defense when they play in a damn zone, and there ain't nobody in their division that's going to be physical with them on the line of scrimmage the way the Chicago Bears or the Green Bay Packers would be for that matter, or the Eagles.
All right. So, guys, let's head into our final thoughts. It's been a great show. I hope we win Sunday. My final thoughts, as always, thank you for watching. You can find us on Twitch, X, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. I just want to beat the Packers, plain and simple.
Yeah.
And hopefully, when we beat the Packers, everybody will shut up and say, wow, this team is for real. Yeah. I mean, we've been getting ripped off all year. This team ain't for real. This team ain't for real. But nobody has said, oh, man, they're beating teams with 4th and 5th linebackers. Mm-hmm. They're beating teams with depleted defensive backfield. Nobody's giving us credit for winning these games. So, Todd, what are your final thoughts?
I just wanted to say thank you to the Carolina Panthers, the gift that just keeps on giving to us. You know, I don't know that we end up number one, but it's been fun to be number one this week. And
it has been.
I feel like we're in the playoffs, but I just want to say, hey, thank you guys. Just down the road, we appreciate all that you do for us.
So, bad guy, Chicago Clarence, I know you don't need blood pressure medicine. You're finally happy for once. The Bears are a number one seed in December. When was the last time we say that? And the Tar Heels were winning. But go ahead, man. What are your final thoughts?
I'm glad you brought that up because that's going to be my final thought. I got to talk about and give some love to my Tar Heels since I was cussing them out while the game was happening. But Hubert Davis,
way out? No.
Finally, you get yourself another win. When is the last time North Carolina can sit there and say that they beat Kentucky and Kansas in the same year? You don't know? Okay, I'll tell you. 1982, Dean Smith's first national championship basketball team. They beat Kansas and Kentucky in the same year. Now, am I saying that we're national championship contenders? Hell no. We don't shoot the three well enough, and we damn sure don't defend it. But Hubert Davis says that he doesn't know who's going to start at point guard. Really? Were you not watching the game? The guy that you got starting in Evans is trash. You need to put the freshman in there, Dixon. He is the reason why you won that basketball game. So get your thumb out of your ass and get in and get with the program. If you got eyes like I do, you would know you should be starting Dixon at the point. But good win, Tar Heels. I see you guys on game day.
Yeah, that was James
1982. Worthy. James Worthy and some little skinny kid named Jordan.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you for watching us. And until next time, bear down. And here's our video again.
Bear down.
Hey, we do that for y'all, man. When it's time to put it on our back, that's how we want it. Hey, let's enjoy this one, man. Let's get ready. Green Bay. Let's do it. Just got one thing here. I know you guys are hungry for more, right? Itching. Let me tell you something. The city of Chicago is hungry too. It's Chicago.